Welcome to Three the Harder Way, aka the three-man Jalen Weave, aka the best big three since LeBron, D Wade, and Bosh live on YouTube on a Monday evening. Conference finals are here, gentlemen. Some results that we did not expect, or I did not expect. I can't speak for everybody. Some results that I
Can't
did not
speak for everybody. I'm glad you put that in there right there.
Man,
Look, I made sure I went to Chick-fil-A before the episode too and got some nuggets.
Okay.
Wow. Wild. But yeah, man, we're going to get into all of that, man. But while you are here, ladies and gentlemen, leave a like on the stream, comment, of course, in the live chat to join the discussion, and subscribe to the channel. 222 subscribers on our way to that 250. So if you're here, it's playout time. You're rocking with us. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. If you're listening on a podcast platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anybody podcast, leave a 5-star review, and we would greatly appreciate it. If you don't know who I am the walking bucket providing instant offense, and I don't eat wings that much. It's your boy Savage. Up here, we got the coach on the sideline, taking them on off the court. And when I say it's really shitty, it's really shitty. Shitty! Is it almost time to ring that bell, man?
Hey, glorious day will be when the bell is rung. Yes, we're getting there. We're getting there. Just for those that don't know, my last treatment will be next Tuesday. Yes, but we're not going to celebrate until the week after. Okay. So June 4th, well, June 3rd, when we record, we'll celebrate. How about that?
Yes, sir. For sure. For sure. We also got your favorite DJ, Sample Man himself, Mr. Ted Shakir. 2, what's good?
What's good, gentlemen? Hey, Sheedy, we gonna celebrate with some rotel and some chicken wings. You know what I'm saying? It's like I definitely no pun intended, but I got a bone to pick with you, Savage, bro. Like, we literally found out that you ain't had chicken wings since Black History Month. And I know this ain't the first, second, or third time we didn't have to question your blackness on this pod, especially with you being the darkest one on here. It's like, I get it. But when I text you and said I'm on your ass, pause, I meant it.
Go on, drop this for real talk. Go on, put this at real talk. This ain't even the trivia right now. This is real talk.
So what's up, bro? What's up? Y'all rock with the culture no more?
First of all, have you seen the price of the brick with the chicken wings?
Yeah, no, not really. I'm lying.
Man, look, you've seen it. Chicken wings are too damn high. They priced me out. There was a time period, ladies and gentlemen, where I was buying chicken wings often, but once they started going like $5 a wing, and of course I'm exaggerating, but like, if I order a 5-piece with some fries and a drink, it should not be $30 damn. Like no, I don't even get full off chicken wings like that. So for the price of the brick to go all the way up, they priced me out. And so I'm just like, I will have chicken wings. What's that? Three times a year? Yeah, and I'm good. Now, I'll say this. If somebody makes chicken wings, I go over their house, I'll eat them, but I am not buying them unless it's a special time of the year. I'm not doing it. So Super Bowl Sunday, I bought some chicken wings from Debo's. I did do that. Honey Gold, seasoned and hot. Yep.
Now you talk about me having to me on that. That's a lot. I'm sorry. Go ahead too before I keep.
No, you good, bro. I was just saying like this where it came from, because I ain't no chicken wing spots out here in Phoenix. Ooh, so I wanted to ask my Memphians out there, and I'm still waiting on the answer because I know they changed the hierarchy of everything every damn day. So I just want to know, hey, what's the best spot for me to go get chicken wings for me to get my chicken wing fixed? And for us to find out that you ain't had chicken since the Super Bowl is crazy. I mean, but I get it. I'm finna find out the price of the brick when I hit Memphis. So
go to Wing Guru. There you go. Go to Wing Guru is
Wing Guru is the most expensive, man.
Exactly. Okay. That's my point. Exactly. So Wing Guru is like the best like chicken wing that's good. Like this. Yes, I understand that's what you're gonna go. But I have not personally bought Wing Guru since 2020, I think, or 2019. One of them. I'm not spending money at Wing Guru. I'm not doing that, bro. It's too damn high. So I take my ass to Crumpies. That's what I do.
Do you at least like you buy wings to eat at the house? Like did that price go up?
Well, yeah, the price of wings at the store also went up.
Yes, exactly.
So we made some sesame wings like last year in like maybe October, I think.
Ladies and gentlemen, no. Everybody rewind what was just said. The man said last year. It is May 20th, 2024 of the Lord, which means she had to make them in 2023.
Yeah. I'm dead serious, y'all. I'm dead.
Black card.
I'm dead ass serious, y'all. I'm dead ass serious.
Man.
I do not buy.
All right, so I guess I'm gonna just go to my crumpies, bro. Just crumpies on Highland, keep it simple.
There you go.
Yes.
Yep.
What do you? So we're gonna continue this conversation for just a brief second. How you like your wings though? Not Savage, because you clearly only eat wings.
Normally honey gold, but my honey gold fixed and it went out of business. My homie from high school had a food truck out here, and like he ain't had it in about a year. So
damn.
It's Wingstop or bust for me. They got
Wingstop.
It's either Wingstop or we got a place called ATL Wings. You know, ATL Wings ain't like Memphis Wings. So
Nah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, Wingstop, like to y'all's point, it don't hit like it need to. It's a fix, yes.
It's cool, it's cool, but it ain't like authentic Memphis wings. Nah,
I mess with Debo's. What's the other one? Pop's Deli has a good one, but they don't have the honey gold that you're looking for. They're more like battered. Mm-hmm. I like it battered, and then I can get some sauce on the side or add some more to it.
What up, Ryan?
Yeah, that's it. But honey gold me. Honey gold the hell out of me.
Yeah, okay. I didn't realize that I hadn't had like wings in so long until this discussion was brought up. I was like, dang, I haven't had wings since Super Bowl Sunday. Damn, it's a long time. But hey,
meanwhile, I just get some up air fryer. Yes, I got air fryer. You better believe it.
Hey, we fixed it. There we go. We fixed it. Good job. Good job. So did you buy a new one or you just fix the old one?
Oh hell no! I don't know what to fix. I don't need to be electrocuted. I already got cancer. The fuck no. Went right to the trash can. But what I did do,
it's not funny, but goddamn, why are we laughing? We are going to hell. That's not. Come on, dog.
But I went right to Sam's Club, ladies and gentlemen, and bought one for $50, and we good.
Okay, all right, well, there you go.
And I mean large. It's a big one.
Yeah.
No Diddy.
No comment on no Diddy. This is
no Diddy, no Giddy. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Please move on. NBA trivia me, please. NBA trivia me. We ain't going to get it again this week. We ain't doing it this week.
Oh man, shout out to our first time listeners, man. 10 minutes into the show and we ain't talk hoops yet. But here we go. Oh shit. All right, here we go. NBA trivia. It's a two-parter. Okay. Out of the 15 most highest paid players in the league, again, 15 of the most highest paid players in the league. How many of them are still in the playoffs? I'm gonna give y'all options. Is it 1, 3, or 5? Again, out of the 15 most highest paid players in the league, how many are still in the playoffs today?
You said 1, 3, or 5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm assuming Jaylen Brown is up there.
Yeah. Jaylen Brown's contract not kicking into next year.
Next year.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Damn. Okay.
I almost want to say 0 because I thought about what.
No. One of the answers is 1.
I know.
5. Yeah, but
that's the problem.
Damn. So I know there ain't nobody on the Pacers. Nobody on the Pacers. Shit, Jokic is gone. Damn. Okay, so 1. I'm gonna say 3. I'm gonna say 3.
What you say, Sheeta?
Oh, Luka. Yeah, I'm gonna go 1.
The answer is 1, but it is not Luka.
I believe you. Okay.
Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert. He's the 13th highest paid player in the league at $41 million, and he's still in the playoffs.
Damn.
Shout out to the 5 first-round picks.
Hey, look, they don't matter right now. That shit don't matter right now, bro. It don't matter right now, man. I ain't mad at him. So shout out to Rudy for the turnaround fadeaway jumper over Jokic. And we'll get into that a little bit later, but let's before we get into it, let's talk about these all rookie teams. They were just announced about 5:00 ish, and so not 5:00, about 2:00. And first team is of course Victor Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren, Jaime Jaquez Jr. Shout out to the Miami Heat, Brandon Miller, and Brandon Podziemski from the Golden State Warriors. Second team was Keontae George from the Utah Jazz. Shout out to Took. Of course, we talk about nothing on this podcast. We don't be talking hoops. G.G. Jackson, Derek Lively, still playing in the playoffs right now. Amen Thompson from the Rockets, and Cason Wallace from the Oklahoma City Thunder. So the Thunder get 2 players, and it's a lot of good players on this, man. Quick thoughts on what y'all saw from the all rookie teams.
I don't believe people should be second guessing wherever that kid is from the Warriors, that rookie.
Potts.
For a lot of games, and this also comes from people have to understand these awards are like season-long awards. It's not like, such and such was turning on the last 20 games. Okay, well, where the hell were they with the other 60? And I specifically remember watching games with Warriors because it was late, I couldn't sleep. But Paz just playing within his role within that system, but not really playing his role, like being more of a Josh Hart type of player, so to speak, and finding his time. And I honestly think overall they pretty much got it right. I think Brandon Miller is even need to be there. People that think that Jaime shouldn't be on the first team clearly don't know basketball. I'll be honest with you. I really believe that this selection, I don't know how you guys feel if there should be some movement between the first and second team, but overall I believe the first team is grand. I'll leave it right at that.
I'm good with both teams, honestly. I mean, because like watch throughout the season, I mean the top three, like Wemby, Chet, Brandon Miller, that's very clear. Like those were the three best rookies very clearly throughout the year. And then Jaime Jaquez had a time in the season where he was hooping and he was on top of the rookie ladder. And of course, the roller coaster of a rookie season. Pods is one of the few Golden State Warriors rookies that, like, in the past 2-3 years that have actually played well consistently. So no problem with that. And he's played way more games than like Gigi Jackson, for example, who we'll get into a little bit later. And then on the other team, you got Derek Lively, who is showing his worth in the playoffs right now. Crucial blocks, crucial rebounds, crucial like alley-oop catches, playing damn good for the Dallas Mavericks as a rookie. Cason Wallace played well for the Thunder. Amen Thompson, he came on a little bit later after he recovered from the injury. But there was time that his brother was actually playing better than him. So that speaks well about Amen Thompson. And then Keontae George, too, can speak highly about Keontae George. He did it before in the Utah Jazz offseason outlook, where he thinks that, Keontae should be the guard going forward once they move on from Jordan Clarkson or Sexton as well. So I have no problem with either selections for either team. Like I'm good. I'm good with those.
I'm good as well, bro. And of course, this will be the last time I do this, but I definitely, Brandon Miller impressed the hell out of me this season. I know coming into this season, I didn't think he would, be worthy of the top 2, top 3 pick, whatever. I think it was pick he was. But he did his thing. He was a baller for a Charlotte Hornets team who I guess is on a rise because at this point they can't do nothing but continue to rise. So
true.
Shout out to Brandon Miller. Podge, great example. Ricky coming in, averaging 6 rebounds a game, 10 points. That just showed how heart that he got, and Kerr was able to play him in minutes and pretty much in a bunch of different rotations. So I'm expecting to see him expand his game. Amen Thompson, I'm kind of disappointed. Ausar Thompson didn't get selected, but I understand why, because he kind of fell off rotational wise towards the end of the season. So I definitely get that. But shout out to his brother, Amen, for getting it. And of course, you'll talk about Keontae George, one of the smoother guards, rookie guards that we have in this league. Y'all definitely look for him to get a bigger opportunity, hopefully next year in Utah. But he's definitely a good player to watch and keep your eye on. If you just like smooth basketball IQ, good player. And of course, Baby Bear Gigi Jackson, salute to you, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. They let me a 45.
Speaking of GG, he went on IG Live shortly after the teams were announced. He had to have got the phone call ahead of time, and he talked this shit, but he kept it humble. But I got the video, so we're gonna play it right now. Let me pull it up.
He needed one more year at college. They said I was selfish and I couldn't play with teammates. They let me fall to 45. But I ain't gonna get on here and destroy my image one more time. I just came to say it don't matter where you start. And y'all have heard this saying before. It's about how you finish. That man upstairs is so real. Too real. From where I started and where I am now, it is literally like magical, bro. It ain't nobody other but God, bro. Legit. It's not about where you start. It's about how you finish, fool. I sat up there on that draft night with all my family, crying. Niggas in the comments laughing. But I'm humble. God is good. I just wanted to get on live to say how it's not about where you start, it's about where you finish. God said if you have faith the size of a mustard seed. Oh, shit about. Oh, y'all finna make me preach. The real work begins, bro. The real work begins, bro.
GG Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, the baby bear.
The baby bear himself.
The baby bear himself, man. And I think that's a good message for even the upcoming rookie draft class, because this class in 2024 is getting a lot of hate, but GG is indicative of, like, it don't matter where you get drafted, bro, or where you play or where you're coming from. If you can hoop, they will find you one way or another. And of course, he was a highly sought after, prospect coming out of high school. He was number one player out of high school. Went to a bad situation in South Carolina, but he's made the most out of his situation, getting drafted in the second round, having a lot of slander on his name, in literal tears at his draft. But he turned that shit all the way on for the Grizzlies in the best possible way. And he parlayed that into a 4-year contract. And he's just, 19 years old. Speaks a lot about his character. And I said it a lot in the past in reference to the Grizzlies about how adversity doesn't build character, it reveals character. And we see a lot of that with GG Jackson throughout this NBA season.
Come on, Pastor Savage.
I see a little bit. Keon Coleman or vice versa. GG did come first, but it's fun time in sports. Amen, for sure. Ryan said, don't let your facts be your story. Good job, GG. Facts. Absolutely. Facts on facts with GG Jackson, man. Absolutely. I'm excited for GG, man. I'm excited for him.
And this draft class is getting a lot of hate for no reason, because I see a lot of hoopers. I do.
It's hoopers, bro.
So y'all analysts need to get y'all shit together for real, because this.
And I think the point of emphasis of the hatred is because there isn't that one guy that is over, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Like, there's not that Wemby right now, and even a Brandon Miller or Scoot Henderson who didn't even make a first or second team All NBA, All Rookie team. And I think that's also where it comes from, where it stems from. But what I love about GG, what he said, and what we're talking about here is there's probably thousands of guys like GG for real that are great hoopers, but can you take the fire inside and outside the kitchen is the question. And he humbled himself, and it's all about humbling himself, because again, there's thousands of y'all that say, oh, I should be in the NBA, I should be doing this, that, and the third. But do you actually deserve to be in the NBA? Have you done everything it takes to get there, first and foremost? And of course, I mean, you can't go wrong when you're thanking God, but like, legitimately speaking, a lot of y'all need to start humbling yourselves. Coming out of college, high school, whatever. No, you might have been the best thing in Iowa, but you're not the best thing in the United States. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Was that a shot?
I like low key a shot, but we gonna leave it. We gonna leave it alone.
Hey, where'd that come from?
It came from Rudy.
I can't deal with y'all. Oh man! Speaking of Jokic, let's get into it, man. Let's get right into it. Second round results, man. So, a lot of interesting series. Well, most of them, I say, there were 3 that had some interest to them. But let's start with Minnesota versus Denver. Of course, I did pick Denver. Even when they were down 0-2, I said, just like, be patient, y'all. This is the heart of a champion. They're going to come back. They're going to turn around. And I'll be damned. They did. They went and won 3 straight in a row and then lost game 6 to the Timberwolves. And Ant, prior to that, said, I will see y'all in game 7. He said that, what was it, game 5? He said that, I believe. So he told the guy from the, I think it's the Nuggets staff or Nuggets, like the arena people, see him in game 7. And they went down there or went up there in Denver in game 7, won 3 games in Denver, y'all. They won 3 games in Mile High. Like, that to me is crazy, because they had the best home court advantage in the league for the entire year. Like, nobody was winning games in Denver. For you to win 3.
It's been longer than that. It's been longer than that.
Been longer than that, man. It felt like it. To be honest, it feels like it. And I don't know how many games they lost Denver in the regular season at home, but to lose 3 in a series, to me, is just crazy. And with Ant-Man, I mean, he didn't shoot well at all, but it's always about how do you affect the game on the other side of the court, man. And at crucial parts of the game, he got key steals and went on the other end and made a dunk, or he made a crucial 3-pointer, I think, in the third quarter to I think it was like a 1-point game at that point or some close to that extent because they were down 58-38 in the third quarter with about 11 minutes left, and then went on like a 28-9 run after that, and then Denver just had no fight. They had no fight. They weren't getting any rebounds. Like they had a cat put back dunk at the end of the game. Somebody else had a dunk as well. Nas Reed had one. I'm like nobody boxing out. Nobody boxing out. I'm like, what are we doing, Denver? But the Timberwolves, I mean, Sheedy, you talked about dogs, man. I saw nothing but dogs on the court, game 7. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, at the end,
no cats.
No cats.
No
cats, man. No cats, man. It was nothing but dogs on that court, man. So I got to throw my hands up with the Timberwolves. I said the team that wins this series is going to the NBA Finals, and they're gonna win. And we see what's in front of us right now. That's all I gotta say. We see what's in front of us.
One thing I think a lot of people forget, and I'm not saying that we forget or people that are listening to us forget, but maybe the general public forgets. The Timberwolves and the Nuggets were neck to neck the entire season, and may have split maybe a half. Like for them to get second and third seeding was like very minimal, maybe a game, if even that. And to your point, a lot more dogs on the court in the second half. This might be it's one of my first times saying this, but Mike Malone, you got out-coached in that second half. Wholeheartedly. You do need to rest Joker at some point. Decide not to rest him in the second half. Your fault. When you see your team lagging the way that they were, that's a problem. When Jamal Murray is not producing in the second half, first half he was a killer. You could have put him on the damn Larry O'Brien trophy up for all I'm concerned. But that second half, completely different. The one thing I do want to talk about a little bit more, and I'll pass over to Tuke to discuss further. Jaden McDaniels. Whatever check he need, go and get that ready. That man produced 2 McDoubles, game 6 and game 7, 20-piece specials for Michael Porter Jr. to not show up the fuck at all. Michael Porter Jr. had 2 games in that series where he was above 10 points.
Hey, somebody said his brother was betting on the under. Somebody said he was betting the under on MPJ. And it makes sense. It makes sense. This just makes sense.
Oh, man. I mean, because he didn't show up, man, at all. And, like, I think that, I mean, we'll talk about the Nuggets offseason in a moment, but we're going to give kudos to the Timberwolves and the coaching staff, what they put together in that second half. Because at the end of the first half, I didn't see it, especially where they closed out that first half. I didn't see it. But as a coach, Mike Malone, you have to understand that no matter what, Anthony Edwards is going to come out firing at some point. At some point. Carlton Towns might not slow down, but you got to put something on him. But also, where else are you going to get your offense from? 2 players scoring the majority of your points, everything else is pretty much dispersed, is not good. But again, I'm beating the fucking door down. Where the fuck was Michael Porter Jr. at? This entire series, where was he at? I'm done. I'm done. We'll talk about more about the Nuggets. Kudos to the Timberwolves. Matter of fact, the Timberwolves turned to the Werewolves last night. Appreciate y'all for doing what y'all had to do.
Damn, somebody check Sheedy computer. That if you ain't walking, you walk now.
Box of hell, that joint.
Man, Timberwolves is a team that, you know, I had my eye on not on just this season, but last season, right? And you talk about somebody that had to kind of, in a way, kind of defend them, especially on this podcast, you know, with y'all heathens. But as far as like just even when the Timberwolves got Rudy Gobert, right, that's somebody that I want to highlight because I said if he's able to play 30, 35 minutes this series, Timberwolves going to win. Find a way to keep him on the court because even though Jokic was getting him, when it came time for Cat and Nas to have a crack at him, they got him a little weaker. You know what I'm saying? It's all in the mindset and the game plan. So I want to give credit to Rudy Gobert on not only for them making it past the Nuggets, but just for them being an overall defensive team, period. For being a game away from being a top seed in the Western Conference this year. That's number one. Number two, listening back to our top 10 shooting guard episode that we did earlier this year, when I said that Ant-Man is, somebody that I consider the MVP. Did he have an MVP worthy season? I've said on this podcast, to me, not really based on his numbers, but when it's time for him to give an MVP performance, let's see him do it. And he's done that multiple times in this playoffs, multiple times this series. Now, he had a crazy game 7 scoring wise, but he found a way to affect it and ultimately win. And you talk about the Denver Nuggets scoring 90 points at their own crib. Bro, it sounded like the Timberwolves. It sounded like they was in Minnesota in game 7. Like, that's crazy.
We're in Minnesota now.
We're in Minnesota now. You know what I'm saying? Cat playing like a dog. Like this, like I said, this was a team when they got their asses kicked by the Grizzlies. I said, watch out for them. And they went and signed a slow-mo. Then they went and got Mike Conley, who know how to play with a Rudy Gobert. Mind you, Mike Conley was the 0 for 6, 0 for 7 in game 7s. They weren't finna lose this one, y'all. This was destined for them to win. Jay McDaniels, Ant-Man has told the world, hey, they got Kevin Durant, but we got McDaniels. McDaniels, you just showed up. Savage said it best. Whatever contract you need after the season, the Timberwolves better expeditiously, real fast. But again, shout out to the Timberwolves. Coach Finch, you did a hell of a job in the backseat third row, wherever the hell you was yelling at. You did an amazing job with this team, with this roster. Naz Reid, that's all we got to say is 2 words. Naz Reid, man, the 6th man of the year for a reason. Stepped up offensively, defensively, energetically, in all kinds of ways for us to say that the Timberwolves will be going to the NBA Finals because well, we already say whoever wins this series is going to the finals, and I'm going to stand by Savage. Hopefully you stand by Sheedy. I know you in Dallas, but we going to see.
Yeah, man. It's something to be said about how the GM, and I don't know his name for the Timberwolves, how he made this team to beat Denver. I know he came from Denver, but he made this team and said, you know what, I'm going to throw 3 bigs at Jokic, and he's not going to be able to do this forever. Now, granted, Jokic had a great series, but he didn't finish, right? And we can kind of get into the offseason portion of it with Denver. And this is the first thing that I noticed when I went back and rewatched the game on my lunch break, and then I looked at the box score. I said, wait a minute. Jokic played 47 minutes. 47 minutes. Meanwhile, Minnesota, they rotating their bigs. And at one point, they had Sheedy's horrible lineup of like Naz Reid, Rudy, and Cat at the same time. But they were able to rotate bigs and at least give players a break. Jokic is the only center on the team. And when your next big is like Aaron Gordon, who's like a 3-4 hybrid, and Michael Porter Jr. ain't guarding nobody, you really had no way for Jokic to take a break. And I think, thinking about them for the offseason, I think it's like a gift and a curse when you got Jokic because, like, he is your point guard. He is your facilitator on offense. But when he is out the game, what is the offense? Who is the point guard without Jokic there? Jamal Murray, he's a point guard, but he's like a combo kind of guard. He wants to score. He's not really looking to facilitate. So who is keeping the offense afloat when Joker is not in the game? Likewise, who is also providing interior defense or any interior defense? I know in the past it was like DeAndre Jordan was like the guy last year.
He's still on the roster.
He's still on the roster, but he didn't play. So it's like
ain't getting no tick
at all. So it's like what is the move for Denver in that regard? For me, you got to get you a younger big man that can facilitate. Doesn't have to be a rookie. It can be somebody that's like a 25, 26-year-old that can come in when Jokic can get a chance to get a blow. But you also
can you give an example?
An example. I mean, in a perfect world, it would have been like Steven Adams,
in a perfect world. Okay. Perfect
world, like Steven Adams kind of player that you give him about 20 minutes a game where he can come in, set a screen, rebound, get a pass, something to that degree. That's one end. The other end, you kind of did miss Bruce Brown. I ain't gonna lie. Bruce Brown was much needed in this series. Maybe y'all should have paid him. No, they probably couldn't have paid him. But I think, would Bruce Brown be opposed to coming back? making a trade partner for Denver. I know he's in Toronto right now.
Toronto asked for it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Toronto want to trade him. So it's like if you Denver, Denver to me, they're not a bad team, obviously, and they're not completely like imperfect, if that makes sense. Like they can make a small change and be right back next year, in my opinion. But they got to make that change because otherwise, Minnesota has a recipe, and if they get Jaden Daniels back again, this is the best defense in the league. Like I don't know how you're gonna score on them dudes because they are suffocating, to be honest.
Let me ask you this, Savage and Sheedy.
Yep.
Does it matter who they bring in if one player is shooting 28 times and the other player is shooting 27?
Correct
my math, but that's what 55 shots between two players.
55. That's good math too.
Yeah,
thank you, bro.
Good math.
Yeah, number 2 in high school.
It's on the pencil. Okay. I can see. Your question is, does it matter who they bring in? And I'm trying to think of the another player that they can bring in. I mean, can Vucevic come in here and be part of a backup role for them on a limited salary, so to speak, a mid-level exception, something to that effect. But it's not about the player. It's about the system.
Right.
And can the system find a better way that, without a shadow of a doubt, and I talked about this on multiple games, it's legitimately the pick and roll of Joker and Murray. That's it. That's a two-man game. They don't have no other two-man game, so to speak. Now, there was a point in time where I think, Aaron Gordon was being more of the point forward a little bit, getting them some help. But what you have surrounded yourself with, again, Michael Porter Jr., where the hell is he at? Like, if this is a two-man game and I'm 7 feet tall at the three-point line, why am I not cutting to the rim? Why am I still staying here if I'm not finding my shot? And so, to answer your question too, they can find someone, but it doesn't fit into the Mike Malone system, which to me right now, over these last couple of years, even as you more or less evaluate this, if it's not Murray, if it's not Joker, and primarily Joker being the facilitator and or scorer, where do they lie?
Yeah. It's very high usage for both of those players. Like you got to have somebody that can come in. They kind of need like an additional like just bucket getter when Jokic is not in the game. Somebody
that's my number one.
A bucket getter, yeah. Like somebody else that's just come in when Jokic and Murray are not on the court, and it's like, hey, go do you. Just go do you, bro. I'm looking at big man free agents for this year. I kind of would like a Tillman type player where it's like a serviceable backup big man. He's not big enough though. He's kind of on the shorter end. So it's like
been done that. No.
Right. Yeah. So it's tough sledding, but
JV,
does JV want to be on the bench though? That's the question. That's the only problem.
So you want to talk about
shit. Him starting ain't doing shit, so he might as well.
Hey.
JV finna go get paid somewhere, man.
Hell yeah. Look, Wiseman.
Make that call.
About 5 years of Wiseman, man. 5 years of that nigga. No, he ain't gonna do nothing. He ain't gonna do nothing, man. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's what I think. They just get you a bucket getter and get you a big man, and they'll be right back. They I think if anything, Joker happy to get a break early. Go back home and tend to his horses. He'll be all right.
Tend to his horses. His minions.
All right, next series. I want to stay in the West. Dallas, OKC. Sheedy, you said Dallas in 6. It was Dallas in 6.
Dallas in 6.
What's your thoughts on what happened in that series?
Stood firm on what I believed in, fellas. Like I would reiterate to anybody. When Jason Kidd turns it on to more of a defense, this team is scary. Scary. Because you have two bucket getters now, more for the guard wing position with Kyrie and Luka that can get their shots anytime. But Michael Porter Jr., if you're listening, PJ Washington asserts himself when necessary to be that third scorer. Derek Lively rebounds when he necessarily needs to and be there, and hits free throws, by the way, when in clutch moments. This team is assembled with youth, even with Gafford and PJ Washington, youth, and they have experience. So to me, it was just a perfect I don't know, tornado or hurricane, whatever you want to call it, to go through OKC. No pun intended. Sorry, I think they just went through a tornado. Anyways, but I'm not saying it was the youth of OKC. I don't know when to say that. I just really believe that OKC was running into a better team. Now I get it. OKC was number 1 seed. I think the Mavericks were number 5 seed, I believe. So for me to say that about the 1 seed, it's kind of scary, I guess. But like, I think the point I was just made, Kyrie ain't really had a monumental game in that whole series. However, defensively, he was everything you needed him to be. And what Jason Kidd is tapping into is people knowing their roles and shutting their damn mouths. If you want to win this championship, if Luka wants to win this championship, but all the players on the Mavericks want to win this championship, I know what it's going to take to win this championship. This is what I need you to do. If I need you to lock in for a series defensively, Kyrie Irving, that's fine. I don't even remember how many times he was even over 12 points for the series. Luka's going to be Luka regardless, but even Luka was playing defense, hobbled. But you're talking about Derrick Jones Jr. Can't say enough about him. And his 20+ points.
Hey, real quick. Mm-hmm. He became a knockdown shooter from 3. He was not shooting threes in Miami, ladies and gentlemen.
You had to bring that up. I know. Mm-hmm. I know.
he was not doing that in Miami. wherever else he was, but he be cushioning them Johns now.
Yes,
straight cush.
But is it because of the environment, right? And you kind of alluded to this before on previous podcasts about Kyrie having this new environment in Dallas and how it's refreshed him and made him a different player, more evolved player. I think the same thing is going for Derrick Jones Jr. Like, to your point, the man was stone cold. And I mean Steve Austin from 3 at all times. But if you were with Luka all the time and Luka's driving to the paint and they need you to be outside the 3-point line, you better learn how to get your shot together or else you're going to be on the bench. And so I think it's also that change of scenery, change of environment, who you're playing with as well. It really elevated him because he didn't lose no steps on defense. He was still a defender. And so to me, again, OKC, kudos to y'all. Great season. They'll be back. There's no problem with there. But they're going to need – Gordon Hayward wasn't it? They're going to need a veteran presence, period, to help with SJ. SJ is going to get his 30, like we said. He's going to get his 30 no matter what. It's who else is going to step up consistently and be there for them. And I just didn't see it. Now, I was scared when Chet hit that putback. I was like, oh, damn, I really don't want this to go back to OKC. But boy, oh boy, PJ Washington showed up, unlike Michael Porter Jr. So I'll leave it alone because I keep on Michael Porter Jr. and he don't have enough for me.
It's hard to be upset about him, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because he was a key player last year. And for him not to step up this year, clamps, but it is what it is. Speaking of clamps, shout out to the Mavericks for the defense that they've been able to use this series. I saw a bunch of tweets saying, oh, man, Kyrie playing defense. Have y'all not seen Kyrie Irving play defense? Do y'all not remember the first time that they went against the Warriors and Kyrie was locking the hell up out of Steph Curry? So just a little flashback memory that I was having when I was seeing it. I'm like, Kyrie can play defense. And then just that energy of, being around Luka. And you could say that Luka's an evolved player. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the job done, get the dub. And that's literally what we saw from this Mavs team who, like I said, had probably the best trade deadline. I would say, yeah, probably the best trade deadline of acquisitions for this year. And their players came in ready, hungry. PJ Washington, one of them, got tired of losing. Derrick Jones is a winner. I ain't gonna say he got tired of losing, but Derrick Jones is a winner coming from the Heat. But you just get a team full of winners, bro. And this is, going against, a youthful team in OKC. We were just able to see the difference and the maturation with the Mavericks and against the Thunder. You know what I'm saying? Do I expect the Thunder to be back? Absolutely. Do I expect to see this matchup again next year? Hopefully, God willing. But OKC, they got some thinking to do because ain't no way in hell I got these many youthful, talented players and this many draft picks and don't nothing happen. I see where I'm at. We went game 6, 1 point away from, being a Mavericks team, from the Western Conference. Ain't no way in hell we need to take a step back, Grizzlies. We need to put our foot on the gas and we need to roll. So I'm expecting OKC to be in damn near every talk that we can possibly think of because they got the pieces. And if it's gonna hurt for KD not to be out here in Phoenix. But if I'm KD, what's his name? Rich Kleiman. If I'm him, hey, what I need to do for KD to end his career in OKC? ASAP. Get it done.
That makes too much sense, man.
Yeah. Before you go any further, I just want to say this. You talked about players that we were wrong about at the beginning of our season. I want to say first and foremost, I was entirely wrong about Josh Giddey. And you spoke about Rudy Gobert getting played off the court. Ladies and gentlemen, they don't talk enough about Josh Giddey getting his ass played off the court a lot. Now, regardless of what he did off the court, we know that's some shit too. But literally, Josh Giddey was like
trash.
And
they kept him on the court. I'm like, get this nigga off the court. Yeah. What are we doing? What are we doing? He can't guard nobody. He can't shoot. He's adding nothing to the game. Put in Case and Wallace. Put in a better player. Do something. Because Josh Giddey is not doing it. That's why he can't do it somewhere else.
Scottsdale is ready for you, Giddey. Scottsdale is ready for you.
Yeah, but that makes too much sense too. Like they have a plethora first round picks, and I mentioned it before. Phoenix has no first round picks, so it makes too much sense to just say, you know what, KD, come end your career here. You ain't got to be the main guy. You got a dog with you in SGA. You got more dogs. I mean, OKC barking at the post game.
As long as Kevin Durant ain't barking, bro. The day Kevin Durant barks on national TV is the day I probably have to question my fandom with Kevin Durant. I'm not gonna lie.
No. He too quiet, bro. I couldn't see that happening. He smoked too much weed. No,
because Shea was too quiet and he out here barking like Scrappy Doo and shit. Like, come on, man. Nah, dog.
But yeah, man. Yeah, they are ready made right now. In terms of like, you have your big three. You got SGA, you got J-Dub, you got Chet. You don't need any more rookies. You don't need any. I mean, you might can get one. Okay, give me one. Okay, cool. That's it. Maybe like a Zach Edey or something. But like, you don't need 13 of them. You don't need 13 of them. So at some point, you got to make a move and bring in either a lot of veterans or a solidified star player or two to play with this young team. But getting into Dallas, man, I did have some notes about that game as well too. First of all, Game 7 was like a back and forth affair. Like it was big shot over here, big shot over there, big shot over here. It was just buckets being made in that game. And I think that with to your point too about Luka, there were so many times when Luka drove in, turned around, hit Derrick Jones Jr. in the corner. He hit one with PJ at the end of the game. Of course, he got fouled by SGA, oddly enough. PJ didn't make a shot until 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, bro. And that to me is just like indicative of like other like Dallas's role players contributed in that game, and really in all these games. Like they counted on the role players more so to compensate for Kyrie not scoring as much. And he only scored more than 12 points twice. Well, 3 times. Sorry, he had 22, 20, and 20. But the other half of the games, 9 points, 12 points. So you desperately needed other players to come score for Dallas in order to win these games. Go ahead, Sue.
Well, I was just about to say, role players outside of Tim Hardaway, you embarrass us.
Yeah, that's Tim Hardaway. That's Tim Hardaway too. Traditionally,
he scored double digits at none.
Tim Hardaway, he be stealing money, man.
Yes, he just need. It's time for him to get a polo.
But yeah, man. Okay, see, as far as them being back next year, they should be. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't be. They play defense. This is valuable experience for Oklahoma City, similar to the Grizzlies when they went there and played, similar to the Minnesota Timberwolves when they played a year or so ago. So they will definitely grow from this. Now, that being said, it will be tougher next year because teams are going to get better. Teams going to be back next year that were hurt this year, so it will be tougher. But at least you got the experience of playing up against a superstar player like Luka, a great coach like Jason Kidd in a tough environment like Dallas. So take that, put a feather in your cap, move on to the next year. If I was them, I would make that move right now, similar to how Minnesota made that move for Gobert. And there are times that it works for Minnesota, times that it doesn't work for Minnesota. But that one move for Gobert led to other moves like Jay McDaniels, like a Mike Conley, like a Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Like you make a compilation of moves for the betterment of your entire team, and that is what OKC needs to do. They don't need no more kids, man. Fuck them kids. They don't need no more kids.
It's all that, Savage, real quick, but it's also the fact that they were the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Mm-hmm. So that pressure, internally, that may get to them. But every team is gonna come for you like, oh, y'all the youngest, oh, y'all fine in the West. We finna come for y'all. So they got to deal with all that. But I'm expecting them to succeed.
For sure. All right, next series, Pacers and Knicks. I don't have much time to spend on this one because I feel like the Knicks just fell apart. They literally got hurt. They literally got hurt the entire. Like it was like what OG couldn't run. Randall not there. Josh Hart had an abdominal issue.
Brunson broke his ankle, right?
broke his hand. So it was like. But flip side of that, I mean, Indiana, them niggas went missing, ladies and gentlemen. Like Indiana is the team you don't want to play if I'm Boston, because you don't know what you're gonna get on it. And I'm not getting to that series just yet, but like Indiana is like they can score 140. I said before, they can score 140 and give up 120, but they still win the game. So if you can't score and run with Indiana, you're gonna be in trouble. And that's literally what happened for the Knicks, who didn't have enough bodies when you already got Tibbs as your coach, who play you 48 minutes a game. You run to the Pacers, who gonna run up and down the court all game long and shoot threes. So I don't have much to say about that because that's what the series was. It was injuries, and the Pacers just kind of ran them out the gym.
The Celtics were the number 1 seed, or are the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference for a reason. Of course, top to bottom roster, but most of the season they had Porzingis. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's already ruled out for game 1. Sheesh. How successful will the Celtics be? You don't think it matters, Sheedy? Because I think I think if you're controlling the pace of rebound, which they've been able to do, then they control the pace of the game. And with that pace of the game, like they're literally giving the name Pacer a meaning. So with that going against a Celtics team who defensively is supposed to be pretty good, we'll see. But what y'all thinking?
I'll get into it later when we talk about series.
Okay. So I won't say too much, but to me, the Pacers play at a fast pace. So I wouldn't want to rush KP back to play at this time, because to the point, you don't score 140 points by just walking up the court.
Nope.
And so with that pace, I would be very hesitant. He's 7'3", already got injury prone. I would be hesitant for that. And I guess, are we supposed to talk about the Knicks right now?
Yep.
Okay. The Knicks ran into the same thing that got them to the second round. Injuries. I understand Cap's going to say, what is the great and what if? I completely agree with that. However, if Joel Embiid would have been 100%, are we looking at the Knicks to win that series altogether? Because the 76ers were giving them some hell. And with some phantom calls towards the end of some games, this might have been a different outlook as is. I slightly disagree. I think the Knicks made the best of the trade deadline, to be honest. You just couldn't see any of that happen in the playoffs because everybody hurt. Bog is down. He ain't been playing since, I don't know, April Fool's Day. And the rest of the players, OG and all the rest of them. Now for the Knicks, the Knicks are now mainstream, I guess, again. And they may command another star. I don't know who the other star is going to be. And I would not go this offseason, New York Knicks franchise, without signing OG. You are a different team with OG on the court. The numbers speak for themselves. So I would high prioritize him, and I would, whoever the fuck, sorry, I've been cussing a lot today. Whoever the fuck want Julius Randle, you trade him immediately, because you've witnessed him not being there for you and how far you can go. Just be done with him. If y'all had Mitchell Robinson, might have been different. But I would definitely get rid of Julius Randle immediately. And I'll leave that alone because I don't want to talk about New York Knicks, because somebody else was talking about the Knicks, Santana, and how great the team was. And no, they're not. They ran into injuries and they ran into an injury-prone 76ers team as well. So I'm going to leave that alone.
I think in a weird way, you just got to add more depth, even though Tibbs is going to play the hell out of you. You got to bring in players that don't mind getting played the hell out of, which is why, Mikal Bridges, he'd be perfect for them, especially you say get rid of Julius Randle. I think that'll be a dope trade. Why not, right? But the Knicks, they definitely are on to something. Got to re-sign OG for sure because we know what they were when they were rolling and balling. Definitely got to get healthy, but like I said, just depth alone help, because if you look at the game the Knicks won, they beat the Pacers at rebounding, which was my kind of point earlier that I was making, is like the Pacers, whenever the Pacers lead in rebounding, they win the game. So that's going to be key for our next series. I think that was key for this series. Granted, the Knicks weren't healthy, but you still got to salute to them for a hell of a season.
Oh, again, I'm sorry. I always cut you off, Savage, before this happens. But I was just thinking about what you just talked about earlier, Savage, about like a what if, right? What if the Pacers went through with that trade with the Suns? What was that, a year and a half, 2 years ago? With
for Aiden. Ooh. Miles Turner hooping, dog. Like, man, that's a huge, because they matched Aiden's offer. Phoenix did, which is crazy to think about, because now he's traded to the Blazers. That's crazy. Yeah. So they actually signed Aiden outright. Now that I think about it, so they could have had Aiden and Miles Turner, but I don't know if that would have worked though.
I think it would have been more of a sign trade.
Oh, sign trade. Okay.
Yeah, they would have. But and then I don't think it would have been able to get. I don't think they would have been able to get Pascal.
Nah. Nope.
And Pascal's been balling.
Yeah. That's the thing, man. Pascal's been balling, bro. Like he's turning into Spicy P, what we saw in Toronto with Kawhi. We'll get into it a little bit later. That's all I was like. We'll get to it a little bit later. All right. I think also for the Knicks, they do got to figure out their big man situation. They got Hartenstein, who they got to sign. But Mitchell Robinson's always hurt. He's always hurt. So I don't think you can move forward with Robinson, man. I don't think so. And they do have 2 first-round picks towards the end of the first round. Do you go after Zach Edey as an option to get some rebound in? Now, the only problem with Zach Edey, he's 7'4" with Tibbs. So you gonna run a big 7'4" dude into the ground? I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Especially a rookie.
I personally think that Tibbs, like, his time is almost up. He's not a bad coach, but he has a time frame for teams when he's with them. Give you about 6-7 good years, and it's like, okay, we at some point we can't run our dudes to the ground every single year, because a player like Josh Hart, he's going to play 48 minutes if you allow him to play 48 minutes. So to that end, they kind of do need to give Mikal Bridges, honestly, like I said, too, because he's gonna play all them minutes and all them games. That's what he does. But at the same time, that's not sustainable for like a winning formula. We've seen Derrick Rose get hurt. We see his whole roster in New York get hurt. It's not sustainable long term. So hopefully he figures that out. But it ain't look like it. It ain't look, because the depth ain't gonna matter to if he don't play his younger players or other players on the bench. So I don't know. That might be just a Tibbs thing.
Tibbs philosophy.
Tibbs philosophy, yeah. All right, last series, real quick. Boston, Cleveland. Boston won. That's all I gotta say. Now, the flip side of that, the Cavaliers came out and Evan Mobley said, y'all shouldn't have drafted me. Donovan Mitchell.
Wait. He said that?
He said that, yeah. His team said they told the what was it, Altman? I think his name is Altman, the GM, do not draft me. And they drafted him. So it's like, why'd you draft me? That's one. 2, Jared Allen, he didn't want to get a shot to play on the court through injury. 3, Darius Garland says, I don't want to be here if y'all bringing back Spider Mitchell. 4, Spider Mitchell said, trade me. So literally 4 of the best players on the Cavaliers said, F y'all, I don't want to be here to some extent. So Boston, they won. Hooray, whatever. Cleveland. Shitty, that's your statement, man. What the hell going on?
Yeah.
I'm so glad you gave me this.
What's in the water?
So let me go on and bless you. The first problem of the Cleveland Cavaliers issue was losing their last game. Losing their last game took them from a 2 or 3 seed to a 4 seed immediately. Nothing, and he pulled his starters out.
You said this shit early on, so you said that right for the player. I remember you saying that. You did say that.
You're going to pull your starters during the final game of the season to get because you could have went up to a second or third seed, depending on how the rest of the games panned out. But you guaranteed yourself a 4 seed, which thus guaranteed you to see the Celtics in the second round. There's no ifs, ands, or buts because the Celtics were locked in at number 1. So unless there was another Miami miracle happening, you was going to see the Celtics and be about it. JB Bickerstaff needs to be on the rope too. What I will say is it's a whole bunch of – I'm looking at their salary right now. And Darius Garland is signed to 2028 for $45 million of them things in that year. Donovan Mitchell, of course, Miami talked to me. Jared Allen, I think there's a place for you. It just might not be in the East. You might need to go west. You might need to light a beam or two. But it ain't there. And they're not really losing that many players this season. Tristan Thompson somehow is still collecting a check. But they're not really losing that many players. So you're going to bring back the same exact lineup. If nothing changes, the same exact lineup to fail again. They failed against the Knicks. They failed again against the Celtics. This is all starting from JB Bickerstaff for him to pull those players because he could have been playing a Pacers team. Could have been playing somebody else. But he decided that karma bit his ass. Donovan Mitchell, we got a jersey in Miami for you, and we'll give you Tyler Hero. Oh, don't worry, Darius Garland. You can stay there. We'll send Tyler Hero. You can have Terry Rozier. Hell, you can take Duncan Robinson for all I'm fucking concerned. Come on down to where you can win something, Donovan. And that's all I got to say about them.
It's me and the Heat just shaking hands. I love to see Spidey.
And we'll bring Max Strus back on, too. Come on. We'll take Max Strus on.
He ain't going nowhere. Strus is a Cleveland staple. That nigga be hooping for Cleveland. He ain't going nowhere.
Nah, there's some crazy ish going down in Cleveland, and it all started to happen when LeBron was courtside. That's all I got to say. That's the only LeBron mention that we're gonna have this pod, unless he up to something.
Nah, I ain't got nothing about LeBron.
Nah, I know you want him off the Lakers bad as hell.
Yes, please, Lord, please get him out of here. Go back home because I'm tired of him. I'm just tired of JJ Redick. What? Come on, man. Okay. Ashton popped in. He said, I'm here to say, hey, we gonna get to him in a second. Matter of fact, let's get to it right now. Man. Conference finals preview. Of course, on the west side, we got Minnesota versus Dallas. On the east side, we got Boston versus Indiana. Let's start west, man, because west is the most it ain't even the most interesting, but I guess it's more interesting because both matches are going to be good. Minnesota versus Dallas. I took the liberty of going back to see when these teams played in the regular season, and to be honest, none of those games matter because the Dallas Mavericks still had Grant Williams. So they played prior to the trade deadline. So those games, in my opinion, are null and void. What matters is we got Minnesota versus Dallas right now, two teams that have been playing very good basketball to this point in the postseason. I have been on record to say that the winner of Minnesota and Denver is going to the finals. Who might have changed my opinion from what I've seen. I literally saw Minnesota beat Denver 3 times in the best home court advantage in the NBA the past couple of seasons. Anthony Edwards is an amazing player. They got dogs around him, McDaniels, Alexander Walker. Cat is playing like a dog. Rudy making turnaround jumpers. I tweeted when I saw that, I said, hell no. It was no context. It was just hell no. Because I could not believe what I saw when he did that.
Because I didn't know who it was that got the ball. That's my problem. I'm watching this ball going there. I had to pause the TV and rewind. I'm not live no more. Who the hell was that?
He just, man.
Jokic.
And then he had that ugly ass, like, whatever layup that was. That shit was ugly. I'm like, Rudy Gobert.
Get in your bag, Rudy. Get in your bag, Rudy.
I'll say this. I don't hate Rudy Gobert like other people. Like, people hate on him for whatever reason. Like, I don't think he's like a defensive player of the year. Like, I mean, he is, but like, he ain't like sliding his feet, DPOY type shit. But I don't hate him as a player, obviously. So he gets too much unnecessary hate from NBA fans in general, in my opinion. But that being said, give me Minnesota in 6. I think Minnesota's going to get one in Dallas because I think Dallas is vulnerable. at home. We've seen that from Oklahoma City. I think Minnesota's a better team than Oklahoma City. They got more cohesion. They're not young. They're not, I won't say as young. They're not a young team. This is a team full of veterans. You got Ant-Man is your youngest player. And then you got Mike Conley. You got Jay McDaniels, who's kind of a young player. Cat's 29 years old. Rudy damn near in his 30s, if he is not already. The team is they built for it, and the team has been here and done that. Rudy Gobert has played with the Jazz, Mike Conley with the Grizzlies. So the team is ready to win right now. So I get Timberwolves in 6.
I have the Timberwolves in 5.
5.
I have them in 5. The reason I say 5 is because we saw what Kyrie Irving's impact was against a young Thunder team, which was, I'm not going to say minimum, but it wasn't to the highest that it could have been. Now you're talking about going against the number 1 defensive team all year, who are feeling themselves after beating the NBA champions. On this podcast, I've said Jokic, then Luka. And I feel like Anthony Edwards heard me, and he was like, hold on, it's going to be Jokic because Jokic is still that bad mother effort. And then it's going to be Ant-Man. I told y'all, Ant is on a mission ever since the summer. Ever since Steve Kerr told him, hey, I need you to come off the bench at Team USA. He's been on a literal mission to say, no, I'm not going to come off the bench. I'm the best player in the world. And he's showing us this. So, like, again, Luka is going – Jay McDaniels, we didn't see him against KD. We didn't see him against Jamal Murray. We didn't see him – we going to see him against Luka and or Kyrie. And you lock one of them down, you let one of the other players get loose, who else is going to help? PJ Washington, cool, but he's more of like a catch and shooter. We just talked about how Tim Hardaway is irrelevant. That Lively, cool, but we don't expect him to do too much outside of rebounding and putbacks. So you got 3 bigs for that. Mavericks, who you got off the bench? Rather, Naz Reid. Again, that's all I got to say is 2 words, Naz Reid. It's just I can respect what the Mavericks has been able to do against the teams they've been against. Again, OKC is the youngest team in the league for a reason. But when you talk about the depth, the leadership, the energy, the swag that the Timberwolves playing basketball with, I'm not expecting this to be close at all, to be honest with you. So give me, again, Timberwolves in 5.
Mavs in 6.
Just see.
I love you said not about how Anthony Edwards, right, was how he felt about coming off the bench for Team USA. Kyrie wasn't even selected to be playing for Team USA. That's on his back. Not being selected to be top 75 player. Should be. So I got them. What I said earlier, I believe this team, the Mavericks team, has a lot of players that are playing their role and what they need. I'm not taking anything against or away from the extremely great defense that I've seen the Timberwolves play. Not taking it away from that at all. I just believe that the Mavs have just one extra step right now than the Timberwolves. And also to the point, was this, and I hope not, right? But was this the series that we've talked about, you guys have discussed, we've discussed on this podcast? This was like the finals preview. Like, this is the finals, right? The Timberwolves and Nuggets. Will the Timberwolves come off this and be prepared and hungry like they were for game 1 and game 2 in Denver? Or are they going to be like, we just got beating the Nuggets? I don't know. You tell me.
I got the Timberwolves at 5. It shouldn't be a problem.
I feel like the fact that they had to fight back in that Denver series after losing 3 straight is even more of a reason for them to be focused. So I feel like they wouldn't slip up at all in that series.
Okay. And I feel like Jokic is more to handle than Luka and Kyrie. If you want to be 100 about it. Or we can say Jokic and Murray. No, you know what I'm saying? Because now you're dealing with guards. Now you can have 3 bigs on the court and actually be that's what I'm saying. Or you can go small. I'm expecting Cat to play like a dog the entire series. Like, ain't who's gonna hold him?
That's a fair point.
Who's gonna I've seen 2 guards hold down Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns at times. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. So I'm going to state my case and proceed by saying I got Mavs. Luka can play defense against Karl Anthony Towns while I'm fucking concerned. I really don't care.
That's gonna be a matchup we see too.
Jason Kidd, again, whatever's going on in Jason Kidd's head that I've been seeing since beginning of April, mid-April, I'm still seeing it right now. And I just wholeheartedly believe that they have enough and more than enough and capable of beating this Timberwolves team in 6 in Dallas for game 6, of course. You all see where I'm trying to go here and move on to the finals. I've said that I call the Clippers or the Mavericks out the West. When I saw the Clippers side, I said, okay. And I had to choose between the Clippers and Mavericks right there in that series. I said, I'm going to take the Mavericks. We're going to ride out with the Mavericks the rest because at that time going into the playoffs, the Mavericks were a higher team than the Clippers. I still see that right now. Nothing against the Timberwolves, nothing against what they just got done accomplishing. Nothing. But it's a completely different game in another 48 minutes. And only time will tell. Mavs in 6.
That's fair. That's fair and consistent. We appreciate that at LBR. Okay, so we're gonna see me and Took against Sheedy in this one. Going out east, Boston versus Indiana. It was kind of a similar thing when I went to look back to see what did the matchup show between those teams. Most of those games came before the trade deadline, so to me, it doesn't really matter. It was only one game with Pascal Siakam played in that, but I think Boston had a couple of guys missing. So it really didn't matter. But Boston, Indiana, you got Boston, who has been playing down to the competition without Porzingis, obviously, and Tatum finally scored more than 25 points. Jaylen Brown's been playing decent aside from that left hand. And Indiana, they are a polarizing team where they're hot one game, cold one game, but the thing that's consistent is them niggas do not play defense. They're not playing defense. They played defense, quote unquote, last game because New York was just so hurt that you just ran out of dogs in the fight. And so I think for me, what I am expecting is I'm expecting that Porzingis is not going to be 100%. I can't see Porzingis coming back and being an effective player to the point where he's going to be getting those rebounds, blocking those shots, and able to just move laterally on defense if he plays at all. Of course, he's not playing in game 1. That's going to be problematic. But on the flip side, you do have Indiana, who Halliburton is showing up, ladies and gentlemen. It's been real quiet on the Halliburton slander on the timeline. That's all I got to say. And Siakam, to your point, Sheedy, hooping like Spicy P was back in the day for Toronto. It's crazy for me. I have an Annapolis finals. I got Indianapolis and I got Minneapolis. I got Pacers in 6. Pacers in 6, ladies and gentlemen. I think that the Pacers are going to just flat out outscore Boston. Going to make them run, make them defend, and they're just going to put up buckets to the point where it leads them all the way to the finals. And somewhere Mike D'Antoni is smiling because his offense finally made it to the NBA finals. So give me Pacers in 6.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I would have been with you, but 2 players that I expected to have a good series last series actually finally woke the hell up. And that's Jason Tatum and Jrue Holiday. Like I said, they're finally playing like they're supposed to, and I think this is a series where Jrue Holiday shows his value. This is why y'all went and got me, because if I can at least try to contain Halliburton, 9 times out of 10, the Celtics gonna win. So I'm expecting that to happen more times than none. Give me the Celtics in 6, maybe 7. It's just depending on how good Jason Tatum plays, to be honest with you. Jaylen Brown, he's gonna do his thing. But again, Tatum, if you're the superstar, you had a good series against defensive Cavs. Now, I need you to turn up against the Pacers. You know what I'm saying? You may have to go for 30, 40 points, a couple of times this series. It's going to get their way offensively. But again, Jrue Holiday, they got you for a reason. Jaylen Brown, they got you for a reason. Y'all supposed to be this, defensive team with chemistry. It's time to show it. Because if not, I can I told you something's been missing. Something's been off this Celtics team. I can see the Pacers. Look, I can see them winning. But I'm going to roll again, Celtics 6 or 7.
Tatum better win, man. Tatum has to win.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
He has to win.
He has to win. He better win. Like, that's how I feel.
Because it's too many easy teams, quote unquote, easy teams for you. Like y'all have been here too many times. Even if you play Minnesota in the finals, you have to win. Like there's no more excuses, bro. Like if you lose to Timberwolves their first time in the finals, bro, like man, it's gonna be ugly in Boston. It could be some furniture moving at some point. It got to.
Yeah, because of that, it's like my heart wants to say Pacers because what won or what got the Pacers to where they are at is the way that they played, and they got back to that.
True to
and I will say the mark of their defense really happened. I want to say it was like maybe whatever game that Damian Lillard came back for the Bucks. In that series. And when I saw Rick Carlisle telling anybody go guard that man 94 feet, that's what I wanted to see. And it was just throwing bodies after bodies after bodies at him, tiring him out. And I can see the same thing being done against a Tatum. I will say that because we all know Tatum just starts fizzling out as the game goes on. My mind is saying I need to take the Celtics. That's my problem because to the point of being made, if the Celtics, at this point, gentlemen, we all agree that we would have been okay if Boston made it to the finals and lost to the Nuggets. But now the Nuggets are no longer in that equation.
Yep.
And so now it has to be the Celtics that win this and get this 18th banner. And if they don't, furniture and everything else needs to be moved out there because it ain't happening. So for that, I'm going to take the Celtics. And even though it's a mix between my heart and my brain, I'm going to take the Celtics in 5.
Ooh,
I think if Brown, they've had enough time to sit and get this together, Joe. You've had quality time to watch the games. There's no reason why your team is not fully prepared tomorrow, game 1 in Boston. And you cannot, I know he talked about their home record. It's atrocious, Joe. Let's be honest here. For you to be the number 1 seed in the entire NBA, but your home record in the playoffs ain't that good. You need to stand, as they say, stand on business. Stand on business game 1 and game 2 and send a message to Indiana. And then you need to go and win that game in Indiana in game 4. And then come on home in game 5. So I'm expecting them to win it in 5. And I'll leave it at that.
I have minimal confidence in Boston right now. I have to see it to believe with them because I've seen it too many times and they choke every time. Got to see it to believe it. All right, before we get up out of here, too, what you got, man? You had a question for us.
Yes, I did have a question for you, gentlemen. Kind of like a real talk question if you think about it. And I'm going to just ask it first and give context in a sec. Who should the NBA want to win the championship? I asked that because they've had to go through a whole year of having an NBA champion finals MVP who really didn't give a damn about being a champion. And I think if you think about the bottom line, it probably hurt the NBA more than it would have having somebody that, fans can appreciate or that appreciates being a champion. Not to say that they didn't appreciate being champions, but it's the Nuggets. Jokic didn't care rather than, anybody else. But now we got this NBA finals where, potential could be, the Timberwolves, who everybody is starting to either really, really love or really, really hate. You know what I'm saying? We got the Celtics who, bring it back Celtics, Boston, whatever, bring it back, that kind of legacy talk. And then you got, Indiana. We got the Mavericks who with Luka, quote unquote, the best player in the league, but you also got to deal with Kyrie versus the NBA. We've had to go through that. So I was thinking about this, for the last couple of days. I'm like, who should the NBA want to win and have, going into the Olympics saying this is the best team in basketball. These are the best players in basketball.
That's a great question. That's a great question. I think if you had to, I'm gonna rank them as far as like what I.
Let's do that.
So if I had to pick who the NBA wants to win the championship, I think number 1 is Boston. Boston has the basketball history, the legacy. They're currently tied with the Lakers right now for the 17 championships. And then just like I said, the history of Boston is just an amazing thing. I think they want that. I think they want an American player like Tatum and Brown to win that championship. And I think that they would be like kind of like the anti-Joker. They would exude the joy of like we finally broke through and won a championship. Not even just for Boston, but for ourselves as a team. So I'll say Boston number one. Number two would be the Timberwolves because you have literally the face of the league right now in Anthony Edwards. I think he would just provide so many quotes and videos post NBA Finals that will just be constantly, reposted on X and IG and TikTok or whatever. I think they would enjoy that. That might be a little bit more gritty and unfiltered than a Boston championship. So that's why I got them at number two. Number three would be Dallas with Luka. Luka is an international superstar, along with Kyrie as well, being just a good person, good player. I think they will be fine with Dallas at number three. And number four will be Indiana because Indiana's not really a fun team. Not a fun team, but like they're like it's Indiana. You know what I'm saying? It's not really that popular compared to like Dallas, Minnesota with Anthony Edwards, and Boston. So that's my order: Boston, Minnesota, Dallas, and Indiana.
Yeah, it's a great question too. I'm same. Well, I'll rank mine as well. I'm actually gonna go number one is Indiana.
Really?
The reason why I say that is Indiana is more of a mecca of basketball.
Facts.
They are an underdog story right now. They are also proving that, like, hey, if you get in these playoffs, you never know what can happen and make it all the way and actually win a championship.
Yeah, damn you, cold, Sheedy. Damn.
So to me, I think if they could, they would say the Pacers, right? And so that would be number one. Ironically speaking, I think number two, for me, I would say, and this is both teams I didn't even choose, this would be Minnesota. Face the NBA moving forward. How does this league look with social media and the tidbits that come from social media with Anthony Edwards and everything else that he does with his clickbait to bring an audience to you all? And I had between 2 and 3, I kind of shuffled because my third is Dallas, but I can see them being 2 as well. My thing here is a redeemed story of how can we look at what happened, how we treated Kyrie, and how we ostracized Kyrie, and now where he's at now and winning a championship. And my last one is the Celtics, because at the end of the day, Boston is still going to be Boston, no matter what. Whether they win a championship or lose a championship, clearly this team don't want to win the championship if they lose it again, or not even get a chance to be there. So to me, Boston will be my last. So yeah, Indiana, again, split 2-3, but I would say Minnesota second, slightly second, 2A, 2B. Being the Mavericks, and then 4 would just be the Boston Celtics. And also, this might be me. I really don't fuck with Paul Pierce, so I'll leave it.
Oh yeah, hey, Paul Pierce been doing some whole ass shit, man. He's just been doing too much, man. Doing way too much.
Stepping on the Bronson jersey was a little too far.
Wow, what you get to?
So I answered too. Number one, I'm gonna go just Minnesota. For everything that y'all said, but I think that you're still going to have representation in different countries as well as when you're talking about star players. Whether that's Cat and I think is Dominican Republic, would they be playing for the Olympics? You talk about France, Rudy Gobert, and a redemption story with him is that he gave the whole world COVID, and now he's an NBA champion. Anything's possible. Just that whole thing, just like Ant-Man, just being on Team USA, trolling everybody, just as Jordan would have if he, came into Team USA winning the championship.
Chef's kiss with that one, man. Oh my God,
that's what I've been thinking about. I was like, I would really want the team, especially seeing how Jokic and the Nuggets treated the championship. It's like, if the Timberwolves win, they're gonna act the fool, and it's just gonna be good for social media for everybody to see. But number 2, Chidi, I love your point about Indiana. I love your point. America is about the underdog story. It's about feel good. Getting it done when you need to. They want to play in, so you get to promote that in a way as well, and make the play in that much more, I guess, credible. If the Pacers were to win, so and it's crazy because I came into this conversation having the Pacers at number 4. But with that point of Indiana being the basketball savant city that it is, I like your points. Number 3, I'm gonna go Boston just for the simple fact, the history behind Boston and the players that have, worked their asses off to finally get over that hump in the championship. But it is Boston. It is Boston. And number 4, I would love for Dallas to be up there more, but you're talking about, again, Kyrie Irving, who's not even on Team USA. So it sucks for him. I think with Brunson getting injured, hopefully Kyrie can probably squeeze into that last spot. But still, Luka Doncic, representing the NBA as the best player in the league. I would like to see that as well. But just that whole NBA versus Kyrie still got a dirty taste in my mouth. Pause. So, again, I would love to see the Timberwolves win the championship and troll everybody for a summer.
Word up to that, man. I still can't believe that Steve Kerr was telling Anthony Miller to go on the bench, man. That's in retrospect, that's crazy in retrospect. And so now, I don't even know the starters for Team USA because I had to look at the roster again. But you can't have him off the bench. You literally cannot
start him.
If they win the championship, nah, bro. I ain't nope. I'm sorry, nope.
I don't even think he needs. And to your point, I don't even think he needs to be validated with winning a championship. To be honest,
I agree.
I think at this point right now, we've seen enough out of Anthony Edwards' game and where he's at right now at this age. They need to be starting. It's not like he just plays offense, ladies and gentlemen. He got clamps. He got the handcuffs for you. Whoever needed.
Amen.
I'm about to look at the roster real quick because I just gotta know.
I'll go Steph and Brian, KD, and Anthony Davis.
I like this.
Or Bam, one of those.
So Steph and LeBron, KD, and probably AD.
Or Joel if he plays.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know if he's gonna play though. I don't think he's gonna play.
I feel like he is. I feel like he came back early just to make sure he good.
Okay. Man, tell you what though, this roster got players still playing in the in the playoffs. Look, Drew Holiday here, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton. So hey, Jason Tatum. Hey, look, it's something to be said about it. So yeah, man, that's just a travesty that Steve Kerr. Is he still a coach too? Is he coaching?
Unfortunately,
he need to be on the hot seat.
Unfortunately, right. You hear me say unfortunately, and I rock with the boy. Y'all know me. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right, y'all. We're gonna get up out of here. Great episode. The conference finals start tomorrow. Actually, it's Indiana and Boston's first up, and then right after that, we get Dallas and Minnesota. So we'll be back next week to recap what's going on in the conference finals. And we'll see how it shape out by the time next Monday comes around. So stay safe.
Hold on, we recording on Memorial Day?
Are we? We can? Shit. What you mean?
Yeah, we should.
We should go in the morning time.
We should record right up before the game. Yeah.
Okay.
Before the game.
Let's do it early.
We do early game. Yeah. Matter of fact,
I'll be in Memphis. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I'll give you a time. So you be all right.
We'll see y'all Monday, ladies and gentlemen.
Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe. Be blessed. Peace.